In this session, we are going to see about this in JavaScript, which is a confusing concept. Let us try to clarify that. So, this in JavaScript, as in traditional languages, refers to the current object, and what object it refers is depends on how it is called. Let me try to clarify it better. So, the golden rule is this always refers to the left hand side with which it is called. So for example, in this case, it is called with object.func. So this inside function will always refer to the left hand side object. Okay, the first rule. Okay, the second rule, in which it greatly differentiates with other traditional languages, is if you call a function in traditional languages, it will refer to this dot func. But in case of JavaScript, here there is an implicit this. Okay, whatever if you call the func, it will in traditional languages it will there will be an implicit this, what refers to the object with which it is executed. But in the case of JavaScript, it is substituted with implicit windows. Okay. Let us understand it better with an example. So I have a simple function here. It is named func1, and I am trying to just console log this. Okay. And I have a object1. So let me first call the function. Okay. Func1. So in this case, what will be this value? It refers to the global object. The reason for it is the func1 is implicitly called with Windows object. So it means Windows.func1. So it is implicitly replaced with Windows.func1 and not this.func1 as in traditional languages. So Windows.func1. So in this case, this will refer to the left hand side argument, which is Windows. And next case is if I am calling func1 as a member of object1. So if I am calling object func as a member of object1, in this case, what will this represent? This will represent the object1, because the left hand side it is object1. So this will be referring object1. So the reason is simple. The left hand side it is object1. So let me take another case where I am trying to print the name. So in this case, what it means? Console.log name. Name, will it print kr? No, it will print undefined, because implicitly means Windows.name. Windows does not have a property called name, so you will get undefined. But this .name you will get a value, because this function is called as a member of object1. So this means the object1, and in this object we have a property name. So you will be able to get a value kr. As mentioned here, we will see that this usage in all the three cases. First in inner functions, callback function, and event listeners. To start with inner functions, so here I have func1. Okay, this is my function, and I have an inner function with the name of inner function, and I have a console.log this, and I am calling the inner function inside func1, and I am calling this func1 as a member of this object. So let me so what will be the value for this here? The value for this here will be window object. Okay, because inner function is called as Windows.inner function. It implicitly is called with Windows. So Windows.inner function. So the left hand side argument is Windows, so this will point to Windows object. Other thing doubt you will get is how in Windows we got a function called inner function. How in Windows object we are having a property called inner function. It is also very clear here. Here also we are not given any left hand side argument. So this means Windows.inner function equal to this function. So you are creating a property called inner function inside this by means of this lines. So after once it is compiled and once it is run, it is calling the inner function property in Windows object. Okay. So coming to our next use case, that is in case of callback function. So similarly I have a func1 and I have a callback function, and that callback function I am calling in case of set timeout after 100 milliseconds. Okay, and I am calling this function as a member function of this object. So what will this represent here? Here also this represents the window object, because the set timeout is implicitly called with Windows. Since the left hand side is Windows, this will represent the window object. Okay. And next, in the case of event handlers. Okay. So in case of event handlers, this is how we add. Here I am adding a event listener to the document object, and whenever the document is clicked, I want to console log this. Okay. So let us see what will this represent here in case of event handlers. This here represents the document object and not the window object. This is because it is very simple reason. As I mentioned, the left hand side is document here and not Windows. So here we have explicitly put document. So this will represent the document element here. So for example, let me instead of document, if I put a p element here, okay, and I add a event listener here, that this will represent to the paragraph element. Okay, so this is just because left hand side we have a p element. So this in JavaScript is rather confusing, but if you understand this golden rules, it will be very simpler. That is, this will always refer to the left hand side. Okay, whatever argument comes in the left hand side, that is what it refers to. And other rule is, there is no implicit this in case of JavaScript, as in all traditional languages. The implicitly it refers, if you don't give a left hand side, it refers to Windows. Thank you. Kindly provide your comments and subscribe the channel.